Welcome to the Unmistakably Magic Podcast. I'm RJ.
And I'm Court.
We are two lifelong fans of Disney parks and all theme parks.
Each week, we bring you the latest news from Disney parks and beyond.
Plus, this week we'll be celebrating our 1-year anniversary by talking about our favorite stories from the past year with our special guest,
Wade,
the man himself.
Back again,
in the
thank
flesh.
you.
He's here
Wade's
again.
Word live, folks.
It's happening.
It's true, on the anniversary show.
It's here. It is our 1-year anniversary, so we thought it would be fun to pick our favorite news story from the year and
From the past 12 months.
from the past 52 episodes. I guess 51 episodes.
51 episodes.
Because this is episode number 52.
That's right. Let's kick it off with some news.
We've had quite a few guests on recently.
I know.
I mean, all two of our regulars.
Our two regular guests. We just have regular guests is what we have.
The only two people that really want to come on here, I guess. I don't know. Well, kicking off the news this week, SeaWorld Orlando is offering a new way to get a look at the orcas with the Killer Whale Up Close Tour. Trainers give facts and stories about killer whales and discuss how they're taken care of. Photos are allowed throughout the 45-minute tour, so snap away. The Killer Whale Up Close Tour will cost $79 per person and takes place daily at 10 a.m. So this is just kind of an extension of their up-close tours that they're doing. They do a dolphin up close and a penguin's up close, I believe.
Really?
Yeah. So they're just kind of
Oh.
expanding that a little bit.
I thought they were moving away from doing things with the orcas.
I don't think they're getting any more orcas.
But they're just using what they have.
Yeah, I guess
Until they're
so.
gone?
No more captive breeding.
No.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Sounds kind of interesting, though. You get up close and they're like, because they do it in the like theater arena,
Yeah.
whatever they call it,
in the big pool
where they're like do the show.
is, yeah.
And you get like right up next to the glass, and they pull them up, and then they put them on they get them out on the like the half submerged thing.
Oh, okay. A
the
little
deck.
shelf there, yeah.
Yeah, and pull them up and show them off. So it looks pretty cool. Well, I don't know how to pronounce this. Terralina Crafted Italian is taking over Portobello Country Italian Trattoria at Disney Springs. The new restaurant will have a menu crafted by chef Tony Mantuano. The restaurant is inspired by the Lake District of Italy and will feature a veranda bar next to the main entrance. Terralina will be open for lunch and dinner and is opening sometime this fall.
It's a lot of openings at Disney Springs.
It's a whole reimagined.
I should change my choice and just say that's my all of the Disney Springs changes.
Disney Springs.
All of it. The whole thing.
Everything.
All the food.
All the food.
All the food.
All the food, all the time.
All of the food.
We ate at Portobello when it was there. It was one of the best Italian restaurants I ever ate at. So
Really?
Yeah, it was really good.
This one, it looks like they're bringing back some of the favorites from there
Yeah.
while changing the menu up a little bit. So,
Interesting.
yeah. Well, Disneyland is no longer stamping visitors' hands when they exit the park. Instead, a picture is taken of you when you enter the park, and it'll be tied to your ticket and checked when you either park hop or re-enter the park. So they're already doing this with annual passes and multi-day tickets. They take your picture and then...
And they're still
basically
doing the
park
fingerprint too, right?
hop. No, they don't do that at Disneyland.
Is that Disney World?
Disney World's
so-
a fingerprint.
Mixed up. Okay, well then why didn't they just do that?
Fingerprint?
Yeah, I would think the picture would be harder to kind of. I mean, it'd be.
It's way more time consuming.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
It stinks.
All right.
It's not fun. Weird. So, expect longer waits to get into the park now. Well, the full list of global marketplaces coming to Epcot Food and Wine 2017 has been announced, and there are 35 different cuisines this year, including 6 brand new marketplaces. I am only going to tell you the 6 new ones because I don't have 4 hours to burn. Active Eats features a healthier offering. The Almond Orchard, hosted by Blue Diamond Almond Breeze. It just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Features an almond dish and almond beverages. The Cheese Studio, hosted by Borzen Cheese. That also rolls off. Gosh. I don't like these hosted by Borzen Cheese. I don't like that. Features cheesy dishes. Who would have guessed? Coastal Eats features crab, shrimp, and scallops. Flavors from Fire has a barbecue menu. And Light Lab is an only beverage marketplace with a fun, bright look. So their beverages are bright. Food and Wine 2017 runs from August 31st through November 13th.
Hey, guess what?
Chicken butt.
No.
You're there.
I'm going to be there.
I know.
I'm going to try all 35. No, probably not. No.
Save your snack credits.
Hey, I get 2 per day. So, I mean, I'm there 9 days? 9
days?
18 snack credits.
You could get half of them.
And that's only like one item at each instead of, because there's usually multiple items. Sheesh.
Definitely go try some of the beverages at Light Lab, though.
I will try,
They
or
look
I'll at least
very
get
cool.
pictures of people getting them.
Try to find something like that. They look really cool. Well, Max Pass is launching at Disneyland on July 19th. The new system will cost $10 per guest per day and can be purchased with a park ticket or added through the Disneyland app. And it can be added onto an annual pass for $75. Disney Photo Pass will also be included with the purchase of Max Pass. And Fast Passes can still be booked at attraction kiosks for free.
That's actually a really good deal on the annual pass version.
Oh, it is.
$75?
So I read a few different blog sites about this, and I don't think it's all the annual passes. It's just like the preferred plus.
So the higher
Or
end
something like
ones
that?
of them?
The top
Okay.
top 3.
Or
something like that.
Because then people were complaining who had like, or even just like the top 2 or something, because then people who were in that next boat, but maybe not the bottom one, were super upset because they already pay extra for the photo pass already anyways.
Yeah.
And so they were saying like that piece of it isn't benefiting them, and so they were wondering if there could be like a mid-tier $35, $50 or whatever for the booking anyways.
Yeah. Weird.
That would be helpful. I don't know. We'll see if they do switch it up a little bit. I'm willing to bet, though. I was watching. Did you guys watch Fresh Baked Disneyland on YouTube? They were going through the current FastPass system because it has changed a bit. You scan your ticket, and then it's linked to your ticket already.
It's basically
when you get
on
a
your
FastPass.
ticket. You don't get a paper, right? You don't.
No, you do get a paper FastPass.
Still? Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it is just a reminder, and it says on there like you need to scan your park ticket. The paper FastPass is just a reminder.
Okay.
So that's what you're doing right now. What they do right now, and they have a lot of the FastPasses are either like ride nows, like instant rides, or they're ride within the hour,
like really soon. Okay. That's
so
cool.
And then they saw a lot of things with that. So FastPass lines are getting longer. Some of them were even longer than standby lines. One of the ones that they took advantage of was Midway Mania. And that was like a ride now, and it had a 45-minute wait. So they're like, okay, we'll just find it on the app, get the Fast Pass, walk across the boardwalk, like on the other side of it, and then go ride it. And you can. There's no limit to how many times you can get a Fast Pass for each attraction. So you can ride. If Midway Mania stays a ride now for just an hour, you can ride it for an hour, practically straight. So I'm wondering if that's how Max Pass will be, and if it is, I think Disney's going to start charging for Fast Pass.
They're going to drop the free Fast Pass.
Yeah, because they're the only park that has free Fast Pass.
Or make it exclusive, or charge money for it and then make it exclusive if you stay on property or something. You get it too.
Yeah, an additional perk.
But I can see that at World being
much
way
like
more
Universal
utilized.
does.
Yeah. Although Universal only does it with its deluxe resorts. So fingers crossed that doesn't happen, because I can't.
That would be unfortunate.
That'd stink. But I do think this is Disney really just testing the waters of, okay, how much are people willing to pay, and what services do we need to give them to keep them happy?
Good point.
Right now, it's a steal because PhotoPass on its own is like $30 a day or something like that.
Really at Disneyland?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know. Right now, it's still good, but we'll see what comes out of that. Well, from July 15th through July 30th, so today through the end of July, Disney Springs is hosting the first ever Christmas in July. Visitors can meet Santa in his summer attire every day from 1 to 10 p.m. at Disney's Days of Christmas store. The Art of Disney store will feature some holiday-inspired art. Dockside Margaritas will offer a special snowflake margarita. And the Marketplace Starbucks will offer a selection of holiday drinks as well. Goofy's Candy Company and Disney's Candy Cauldron will offer holiday treats. And Aristo Crepes will serve a gingerbread crepe. And there will be a DJ playing Christmas tunes. There will be holiday decorations and holiday-themed face painting.
So this sounds silly, like this whole thing sounds, but I can see a lot of people doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of people take their I've seen, I can't tell you how many times when I've been there, in the middle of like 90-degree days, people in Christmas sweaters standing in front of the castle because they're taking their Christmas photo.
Oh, man.
So I can see how this would be a really big deal for somebody like that. Like, we are going to Disney Springs today to, get everybody sit on Santa's lap, get all this stuff, get in the Christmas spirit so we can take our Christmas photo. I'm telling you.
My wife's family used to always do a lot of like the Christmas photos in front of, like over in Club 33 and over like in Disneyland, like on that staircase right there.
Yeah, the Court of Angels.
And so
You can't go on anymore.
Yeah.
Unless you're going into Club 33. That's kind of cool, though. I mean, it makes sense.
We did that when we announced our first child.
Yeah, you did.
We took it was a few months before we had just started trying, and we went and bought a little set of ears, like a Christmas ornament, and stood in front of the castle and each held an ear and said like dreams do come true, or, so. You stand in front of the castles. Next time you want to watch people watch, stand in front of the castle and see the different things that are going on there, like that. Like, I'm sure it looked ridiculous because it had like a tripod down on the ground pointing up into Andrea's hand. It's like holding a little ear.
You didn't
and then,
just ask a cast member to take a picture of it?
No, because I didn't I don't know. We were all nervous. Like, we didn't want anybody to see us doing it, or, we didn't want to.
So you took a tripod with a DSLR on top of it on the ground.
On the ground, and pointed it up at the castle and held
more
this ears.
discreet than this.
Yeah. I know. I'm telling you, if you want to people watch, stand in front of the castle and watch what people are taking pictures of.
I knew at this point, as soon as he started the stories, you could tell he was like, "Yeah, I know this is gonna sound
ridiculous, but
I would totally do this." Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, maybe when we go in September, we should take a family.
Do another one.
We could, or take our Christmas picture.
Might as well.
Yeah, there you go.
Bring some Christmas sweaters in our bags. Sweat it out in early September.
Oh, your children would not like that.
No, they would not. I don't see that going well.
Well, D23 is going on right now,
Yes,
and the Parks and Resorts panel was today, and there was a lot that was announced. So we're just going to do a very quick rundown of what was announced. We're not going to go into detail or anything. Well, we might go into a little bit of detail. But to kick it off, a, quote, 100% immersive Star Wars themed hotel is coming to Disney World. It's that hotel that we talked about a while ago.
Where they were like, would you pay for this? Yeah.
Yeah. It's happening.
Would you pay for it? Because we're going to do it.
It's happening right now. It's been announced. Star Wars Land has a name. Star Wars Galaxy Edge. And it'll feature...
Galaxy's Edge.
Galaxy's Edge. My apologies. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Gotta say it just like that.
Good thing Tyler's not here.
Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. It'll feature a credit system to... how they're going to track and immerse guests into the universe of Star Wars and into the land.
Like we've talked about before, the whole what you do is going to follow you around.
Yep. So if you fly the Millennium Falcon
poorly,
or nicely, some more credits will come your way. If you fly it poorly, not as many.
Might be a bounty on your head.
Yeah, can you go into credit debt and end up with bounty hunters trying to hunt you down because you owe Jabba some credits?
How cool would that be if
You literally
Boba Fett came
run
over.
away. You're like, ah!
They said in the blog, I think, it's the major bounty hunter from Rebels who's actually going to be there.
Really?
Yeah. I can't remember his name. He's guy in yellow, right?
I don't know. We'd have to ask Tyler.
Yeah. Where's Tyler when we need him?
That's true.
Text him.
Wrong week to have me here.
For now. Well, and I mean, this is obviously the most important thing that came out of D23 this year, and most exciting. Tron is coming to the Magic Kingdom at Disney World. I'm stoked. It's going right next to Space Mountain in a new location, and it's not replacing any attraction.
It's not replacing.
It's not replacing the Tomorrowland Speedway.
No,
It's funny because I saw like
behind
a confirmed. It's Tomorrowland Speedway
Well,
will be replaced by Tron. I was like, whoa, okay, cool.
We retweeted that.
That's what I saw.
By WDW News today,
Yeah.
I think it was. They posted it, and they're like, we're calling this one. It's confirmed.
But
Here's
now
what
they're
people
saying
have done. It's
yeah.
going to replace the Tomorrowland Speedway. But no, it's going in a new location behind the Tomorrowland Speedway, pretty much even with Space Mountain right there.
So kind of if you like where the gift shop exit is, that walkway kind of, I guess.
Yeah, they're extending the
Okay.
walkway a little bit, and then you go behind that gift shop and
That makes
underneath
sense.
the People Mover, and it's going to be right there.
Cool.
Yeah, the concept art showed it, and that was the first thing when I saw the concept art. I'm like, oh, Tomorrowland's Speedway's still there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it looks like it's going to be a clone of the one in Shanghai, which I am kind of disappointed about. Because the biggest complaint about that attraction is it's not long enough, and it's not inside enough.
Oh.
Even though you just launch and then go out in that one, it's not like it doesn't maintain that thrill when you're inside.
Yeah.
And Vekoma was the manufacturer of that one, and there was a rumor floating around that when they built it or designed it, they designed a second version of it. So when people were like confirming that Tron was coming to Magic Kingdom, they're
We were
like,
hoping it was the second.
we'll
version.
get the different version of it, the second version of it.
They're
So
saying exact.
they're not saying exact, but it looks like it's the exact one. They haven't said it's a clone of it.
Okay. But the concept art leads you.
Concept art looks
Alright.
very. It looks like a very similar, if not the same, show building.
I can't remember exactly what the blog said. It said that they were taking it from Shanghai, but it wasn't clear that it was per se the exact same one,
Yeah.
but probably pretty similar depending on obviously
Which I could see
spacing
them.
and
I
all
could
that
see
too.
them not selling that as a point either. Even if they were
Yeah.
going to do that, they're not going to be like exact copy. You know, be like, yeah, we're
it'd
just
be kinda-
borrowing it, or you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
So fingers crossed we get a different version. Has a little more time inside. But it kind of upsets me now because this shirt is probably no longer a Shanghai Disney exclusive.
You'll have some time.
And
You'll have till 2021. You have 4 years.
yeah,
so.
it'll open by the 50th anniversary of
Magic Kingdom.
of Disney World as a whole.
Yeah.
Well, a Ratatouille attraction similar to the attraction at Disneyland Paris. Again, they didn't say it's an exact copy of it. It's coming to the France Pavilion at Epcot as part of an expansion, so they're not taking anything out of there either, which is good to know. And that'll open by 2021 as well, which I know we were kind of talking about this a little bit before I went to Disneyland Paris. And so I was kind of like thinking while I was standing in line for Ratatouille,
How would it fit?
one, it needs to be more inside because 90% of that queue is outside and it's just switchbacks after switchbacks after switchbacks.
I can't
And then
imagine
you're
they would do
inside
that
for-
in.
No, in Florida, no.
No.
They'd put it more inside, and then you walk inside and you're all of a sudden on a rooftop. And so I figured they could do a bit of a transition stuff into there.
Yeah. Also, where they're going to have to kind of shoehorn it, assuming in the back is where I'm picturing.
Yeah, it's going
like,
behind the Eiffel
You're going to have to
Tower.
walk all the way through the France Pavilion and end up in an entrance and then queuing out
Yeah,
into the outer perimeter.
it's going back. Was it behind the Eiffel Tower or
Yeah, it's
by
behind.
the Eiffel
It's
Tower?
behind it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
That's what the permit artwork looked like at least when I looked at that.
Oh.
and in the announcement, they're like, we're putting it behind the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the entire France Pavilion would be a queue then.
Yes.
If it was
Oh.
literally the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought as soon as I got off of that ride, I was like, that fits perfectly in France, in the France Pavilion. So
Well, and the nice thing about it is, and we had this in our text message chain, right, is that the video that RJ sent out about Epcot and
Yeah.
the shift. And the thing I like about if it sits there too is that at least on the front of World Showcase,
It's France.
it's France.
Yeah.
And so you don't have, that property seeming like it's changing that much, but it's still an available attraction then to access.
Yeah. Which it looks like that's more the way that they're going with Epcot, at least in World Showcase.
Yeah.
Just keep it true to the country, but add an attraction that's their property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that was my point
Sometime-
with Frozen. I think we talked about at some point here too. Was
Yeah.
it's still Norway? It just happens to have a Frozen ride in it.
Yeah. Well, Guardians of the Galaxy will be replacing the Universe of Energy at Epcot. I was sad about this until I saw the exterior concept art of it, and it looks pretty sweet.
Is this
Not
going to be a
gonna lie.
Mission Breakout?
No.
Totally different.
No, a completely new attraction. It's not glasses. It's not I assume it's going to be a screen ride because there's no
the way
real
that
other
pavilion-
way. Although they're massively expanding behind.
And that's
the
a pretty
pavilion.
massive pavilion on its own.
Yeah.
You
It
could
is
just about
huge.
put a roller coaster in if you needed to.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't know about that though is Chapek really built up that a lot of this was feedback from families that it was hard to do stuff in Epcot with the entire family, and so he kept using the word family, and so and he said e-ticket ride,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it makes me wonder what the thrill level is going to be on
Yeah,
it.
it could be like a rider trackless or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Which, I mean, honestly, Ratatouille was the best screen ride that I've ever ridden. And that's me going to Universal Orlando
Yeah.
and Hollywood and experiencing those screen rides. And Ratatouille blew them out of the water. So if they do a screen ride, I trust Disney more than Universal with screen rides, based off of my experience so far. A new film for the China Pavilion is in the works.
Needs it.
And yes, very much so. It's going to be seamless Circle Vision 3D with digital cameras. So they built an all-new Circle Vision 3D camera.
Oh, that's interesting. Maybe that bodes well for Canada too. Then
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be nice. It wouldn't surprise me if they did a new one for that as well.
imagine once you build the camera rig, you might as well.
You should utilize
And
it
I imagine
more.
those films are getting up there in age, and
Yeah, they
all
are.
that too. So
They're up there with Martin Short.
Yeah, he definitely is a little younger in those videos than today.
A little bit. He's also a little more relevant when they put him in. A new space-themed table service restaurant will open next to Mission Space, and it'll offer amazing views of space. A brand new mission will be added to Mission Space, as well as an updated Mars mission, and that'll open actually next month.
the new mission or just the new Mars
Both.
mission? Really?
Both. So the new mission is basically just flying over or orbiting Earth, and it was developed by ILM, so Industrial Light and Magic, which is George Lucas's
Special
thing.
effects
Yeah.
studio. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm super glad that they're updating the Mars mission because that needs it.
Yeah.
Bad. That was looking very, very dated.
It's funny. This was an attraction I was not going to skip, but it wasn't going to be a priority. But now it's going to have to be.
Yeah, no, definitely check it
I have
out.
to have a list of things. Don't forget Mission Space, new stuff.
Yeah.
So you pointed out before the show that they didn't formally say that the Great Movie Ride is being replaced, but it's widely
It's the
accepted
assumption.
right now, and it's the assumption that the Great Movie Ride will be replaced by Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway that will incorporate glassesless 3D, or like they're calling it 2.5D. So they're developing all new technology to bring the 2D animation of the Mickey cartoons, and it's the new Mickey cartoons, to life without wearing 3D glasses.
Okay.
So, and they're bringing it into a 3D space. And I believe, well, isn't the Great Movie Ride closing August 13th?
It's something like that.
Yeah. So,
That kind of feeds into the unconfirmed but confirmed part of the.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and isn't, I believe, the Universe of Energy is also closing August 13th.
Oh,
if
get
I
a ride
remember
in
correctly.
Oh, are you really sad about that over there, RJ? Was that something you were sad they didn't have a fast pass for yet?
Yeah, a little bit.
Marvel Land is coming to California Adventure, and it'll feature Spider-Man and the Avengers. A Marvel-themed hotel is coming to Disneyland Paris. I don't think they said if it's just replacing a hotel or if they're building a new one.
I thought they said brand new. It's Hotel New York. The Art of Marvel is the full name of it.
Oh, so it's hotel. So they're replacing Hotel New York with
Yeah.
the Marvel one. Okay, that's kind of. It's not the closest to Disneyland because you have the Disneyland Hotel right at the main entrance of it. It's right next to Disney Village, which I actually didn't talk about when we did the Disneyland Paris recap.
Is that their downtown?
Yeah,
kinda,
it's super
sorta?
dated, very forgotten, extremely 90s, late 80s, early 90s. It was I was
when they
stepping
built
back
it?
in town. Yeah, they hadn't touched it since it was
Oh,
built.
that's unfortunate.
Neon everywhere.
Ooh.
It felt like I was stepping back in time. It was
Well, maybe this will signal a
a little
rebirth of that area.
I feel like since Disney bought all the share, has complete share stock control of
They have a little
Disneyland
more
Paris.
control now. Yeah.
They're gonna invest way more money into it and kind of bring it up because it did feel a little. It felt dated.
Yeah. It sounds like it. Yeah.
Paradise Pier is being rethemed to Pixar Pier.
Pixar Pier.
The Pixar Play Parade is coming back to the Disneyland Resort, and it's going to be at Disneyland. And Paint the Night will now be over at California Adventure, and a new fireworks show is coming to coincide with the Pixar Play Parade at Disneyland. A new stage show theater is coming to Main Street, USA at Walt Disney World. I didn't read did they say that a show is coming in on this one? I didn't read
They
the
didn't
full
say
article.
what the show is. It's just that they have that theater coming in, and the theater's a not a
It's
fair replica of
inspired by the
the one
one in-
inspired by the one in Kansas
City.
where Walt was from. So
Nice.
looks really cool. I'm assuming it's going over there by Tony's and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sitting back there, but no, they didn't announce anything about what the show is yet.
Disney Riviera Resort will open at Walt Disney World, and it'll connect to the Disney Skyliner, which is their confirmed. I guess it was announced at D23, but it was pretty much confirmed before that because patents were filed, and we're like, it's happening.
And both of the resorts that it's connected to went under refurbishment this year pretty heavily. So
Yeah, which is their Skyway, I guess is the only way that you can do it. Their gondola transportation
yeah.
system. Toy Story Land at Walt Disney World at Hollywood Studios will open in summer of 2018. So
before Star Wars.
yeah,
All right, that's good.
doesn't really surprise me.
No, I'm not. Yeah, it's not nearly the.
It would have been
the job that.
It would have been ridiculous if they opened them simultaneously.
The only reason I thought to do that would be to remove
Pull
some
people
of the
from Star
traffic
Wars
from
Land.
one or the other because.
From Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah. Pull them back from the galaxy's edge. Bring them back to Toy Story.
So yeah, that was a quick recap of D23.
Yeah, I
announcements
mean,
for
probably
parks
expect
and
more
resorts.
from us at some point as more of these stories get hacked. Because a lot of them were like, "Hey, this is going to happen," and there wasn't we already said. There's details in some, but details in not all of them. So.
It was like the Pandora announcement when they first announced it. Like, we're building Avatar Land, and then
Yeah, like I said,
nothing came
Yeah.
from that for 5 years. So.
I found that Periscope of it, and it was one of those things where it's each announcement made you have 10 more questions that weren't going to be answered yet.
that weren't
Yeah,
actually
so-
answered. So yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah, stick around. I guess it is also worth noting that the massive model for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge has been revealed.
Yeah, go check if you go. Yeah, social media,
It's all over the
Instagram,
place.
YouTube. Check it out.
As well as, confirmations about more or less what the rides are going to be.
Yeah.
A ride vehicle
and the
from
ride
one
vehicle
of them.
from
Yeah.
the one.
So, a lot more Star Wars Land stuff that didn't really mention.
And I'm sure we'll talk about it more
Yeah, we will.
going in the future.
But that just about wraps it up for the news this week.
All right, stick around. We're going to celebrate our year. Talk about our favorite stories from the last 12 months. Well, it's been a year.
Happy anniversary, RJ.
Don't say that to me. It's weird.
It's only been a year.
Oh.
Come on.
Hey,
Come on,
thanks,
man.
though. I mean, thanks to all of our listeners. Thanks to guys like Wade and Tyler, our two go-to guests when they're available.
When they're around. Huge thank you.
Yeah.
If you've been listening since day one, glad you stuck around. Hopefully we've gotten a little better.
We realized how cringy our first episode was. If you haven't watched it, it's still up on YouTube. You can.
I would not watch it, but
It's a little rough.
it's up there.
Welcome
It's,
to the Unmistakably Magic Podcast. I'm RJ.
And I'm Courtney.
Yeah. There's a little preview for you there. But yeah, it's been a year. A lot of stuff going on this year. I mean, I think we picked kind of an interesting year to
Start a podcast
start
on this
talking
stuff.
about Disney. I mean,
I mean, I
guess the industry as a whole, because I mean, we'll talk about it here in a minute. But
yeah,
seriously,
everything's
stuff.
really it's crazy. This is probably the most announcements at D23 that Disney has ever done.
it seemed like it because I had a hard time keeping up.
Keeping
Like
up
I
with
think you
everything,
guys, a couple of the ones we said, I was like, wait, they said what now?
That's happening?
Yeah.
Really? I didn't even hear about the China Pavilion until I just watched a quick recap of stuff on. I was like, that's cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
That's awesome that they're reinvesting in things that are obviously getting dated.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah.
Well, it has been a year. This is episode 52.
Yep.
For those of you who don't know, there are 52 weeks in a year.
We technically our year
To the date,
to the 365 days was about 2 weeks ago because we
we had missed 2 weeks.
At some point in there, we missed 2 weeks on like Christmas or something else. So.
Yeah. So, but it is episode 52.
Yep.
The year anniversary. So we figured we would look back 51 episodes and find some news stories that we all really liked.
Yeah.
And we're going to elaborate on them a little bit and, basically just pick out the biggest defining moments of this year.
Yeah.
That we've
definitely.
covered on our
Yeah.
podcast.
And I think we hit all of them.
Yeah, we definitely did.
Wade, do you want to start us off with yours? I'm really excited to hear about yours.
Yeah,
I
this
am too.
So
Yeah.
it was interesting because my story and when we talked about the topic, favorite story, when it came out, it wasn't my favorite probably.
Yeah.
I was
see that,
disappointed, but the more that I've seen the bigger scope and plan, it makes a lot more sense, as well as feedback. And so my biggest favorite story in the end has been of Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout.
Nice.
And what has now became, obviously a second or third phase in retheming California Adventure.
Yeah, and bringing Marvel into the parks.
Yeah.
Like as for an attraction. I mean,
Into the Disney parks for the first time. So, yeah.
Because we talked about, it replacing, Tower of Terror, which it is an iconic, ride. Not maybe as much so at Disneyland since it was, the replacement and how much they've rethemed and rethought about what they want to do there in California Adventure. But then especially and we didn't want to totally cheat and talk about only D23 this week, but then with all the announcements that came out at D23, which many of them had been, rumored in the community for a while.
Very strongly rumored.
Yeah.
For a while.
Of a Marvel Land, then you also see the shift to now Pixar Pier, and so just all these changes that they're making California Adventure more and more a themed park to Disney products too.
It seems like California Adventure and Hollywood Studios are turning towards like a very similar direction.
Yeah.
that's a good point. Yeah.
California Adventure, there's not really any California left in it. Like there's some inspired areas.
Well, you have
of
like Grizzly and
yeah, you have Grizzly Peak.
and you have the Hollywood backlot.
Yeah, which is now turning into
Marvel
Land.
Buena Vista
With-
Street.
With Guardians of the Galaxy right there.
Yeah.
You have Buena Vista, but it's still like
Because it's kind of the whole thing of what was it, a couple of years ago at D23, or was a shareholder where he let it go that it's probably not going to be Hollywood Studios anymore. It will maybe eventually be just Disney Studios.
that was a shareholders meeting that
Yeah.
he was like, oh, probably shouldn't have said that. Well, now it's out there.
No, I put it out there. My bad.
Yeah. What was it? Some like 7-year-old asked the
Yeah,
question
I
or
know.
something
Yeah.
like that.
Well, it was like today, D23, kind of separate, but Reese Witherspoon and Mindy Kaling, when they were there for Wrinkle in Time, let it go about 3 or 4 of the people from Marvel who were backstage, and they were like, "Oh, so exciting, we got to meet them," and that was all over Twitter. Like, oops, they just dropped the bombshell that, Doctor Strange and Robert Downey Jr. et
Marvel's
cetera,
here. Yeah. We're here to. They're here to do some stuff.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So, I don't know. So did you like the opening of Guardians of the Galaxy? Pretty much what it stands for.
So, I mean, I was sad to see Tower go.
Yeah. I think
But-
we all were. Yeah.
But at the same time, I think that everything that's come back from it, and they even talked about it at D23 today, it's the most popular and well-rated ride at the Disneyland Resort
That's awesome.
at this point.
now.
And
Till Star Wars.
till
Galaxy's Edge.
till Star Wars opens. But I think that obviously it fit within the land fine. I think that what a lot of people appreciated about Tower of Terror is the drop ride effect.
Yeah.
And so that they obviously were able to retheme the vehicle of the ride basically just to fit a new storyline that's going to fit for the park for a while to come, because I'd still been that part of that park specifically that you went and you were like, okay, here's this Bugs Life land, here's the Monsters Inc. ride, there's Tower of Terror, all really close together, and they didn't seem to fit solidified vision of the park.
Hollywood kind of, but
Yeah.
I really like the build up to Guardians of the Galaxy though.
Yeah.
With the whole Tower of Terror, what do they call it? After Hours.
After
Yeah.
Dark.
They did
After
a really
Dark.
good. They did a really good job saying goodbye to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like kind of like we just talked about some of those other things. They're just gonna. It seems like
See you later.
August 15th or whatever. Bye.
Yeah. There's no build up to the closing of the Great Movie Ride or the
Yeah.
closing of
Ellen's.
Energy Adventure, the Universe of Energy. There was a really, it was like a year-long build-up to the closing of Tower of Terror. But their After Dark was, I mean, getting to experience that, it was awesome. It was really cool. I think that was probably the best version of that attraction that I rode. I haven't been on Guardians yet. But I think just the way that they said goodbye and the way that they really played to the fans when they were building it.
Well, and even the shift of, as that's moving to Marvel Land now too, how they had the Avengers like shield thing that's in the ground next to it and didn't make a huge hubbub about it. There was the mini viral campaign that didn't really go viral, and a lot of people made fun of them for it. And then that's how they started the announcement today, like, hey, so have you noticed that random Avengers shield thing on the ground right next to it or whatever? And I mean, as soon as that happened, everyone knew what was about to come. But, so no, I thought from the very beginning, I was intrigued, but I felt like it was one of those things, if they did it well, it really sets up the park for more success, which that park needs.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm just excited to see how they run with it.
Yeah, it should be a good launching point. Good breaking out point.
Yeah. Breaking out of their shell.
Yeah, there you go. Breaking out of their
like
mold.
the mission was to break out from the mold, break out from the rest of the park.
Maybe. Well, what was your number one, RJ? What was your big favorite thing?
Mine comes with some caveat. Pandora. I'll say, it's Pandora. I think I haven't yet experienced it, but I think it had a lot of connotations that I think are really exciting.
Yeah.
And we talked about this a lot because we had a whole episode where we kind of debated these 3 big openings that happened this year. And
pretty much in 1 week.
In 1 week, yeah.
They all opened in 1 week
kind of
of
insane,
each other. In 2 days of
which
each other.
Just crazy this year. And
so cool.
I think it has a lot more connotations because we're looking at another alien world coming and being built, and now we've seen model of that, and I think there's just influences probably from lessons learned, influences from Pandora probably present in Star Wars Land in the future in the plans, and I think too just some of the technology they've introduced and the interactive features of the land and the animatronic characters on the river ride, and
there's only one animatronic on that ride.
Oh, the rest are projections?
Yeah.
Oh, well, at least from YouTube, it's hard to tell. But
it is, and even in real life, I've heard it's hard to tell.
Hard to tell.
So
just her then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just the shaman.
Because I thought there was at least one more. I was like, oh,
yeah,
that's for sure.
The dude that's like standing there and like waves the sticker. No, that's a visual effect.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm already impressed. I haven't even read it yet. I have a fast pass.
You do.
I have a fast pass.
You have fast passes for both. But that makes me think, like, if they did that little bit right there with the guy and it looks 3D, is that going to be similar to what we're seeing?
And then going back to D23, like I said, we didn't want to kind of play it easy this week and just talk D23, but
mine would have been pretty obvious.
Yeah. You made it obvious even still. But as we saw, like, ride vehicles introduced, and the one is definitely a trackless ride system, or at least from
looks that way.
Looks very much.
For
now, we'll see kind of maybe what we learn about it, but
the Star Wars.
But something like the Na'vi River journey really makes me excited for how, like, that.
Yeah.
You could have fooled me that wasn't an animatronic, so
yeah.
Imagine that in a Star Wars. So I think Pandora just carries a lot of connotations for Star Wars land, and I think lessons learned, and I think on its own it's a very cool land, and it's a very big opening for Disney and for Animal Kingdom. I think Animal Kingdom was we've talked about it, I think we all considered it pretty much kind of a half-day park, and this really brought Animal Kingdom into the nighttime hours. It really brought Animal Kingdom into a full-day park.
I think this in conjunction with Rivers of Light.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I definitely don't want to downplay that either, but yeah.
Because you could stick around for Pandora, and it is kind of its own, like, experience and show at night.
To show it at night, yeah,
But I think Rivers of Light really cemented Animal Kingdom as a full day park.
Absolutely.
The only thing with Pandora I still want to see is it going to hold that water once, especially Star Wars comes?
And that was definitely my hesitation with Pandora from the beginning was always, okay, it's one hit movie that was really big, and I think big for, well, not only itself, but some of the technology and it was like one of the highest grossing movies.
It was the highest grossing movie of all time. But it came out in 2009.
Yeah.
I think that's right around the time that Disney bought Marvel. Harry Potter Land had opened up, and it was expanding, or the Wizarding World of Harry Potter had opened up, and that was expanding. And Disney hadn't bought Lucasfilm yet, so they didn't have Star Wars. So it makes sense when that movie came out and when they announced it, because they announced it in like 20.
They announced it while it was still on people's minds.
Yeah,
2012, 2013. It was still like there.
Yeah,
people were still talking about it.
It was definitely on people's minds. It was because that was one thing I brought up when we debated this previously. Was I brought it up to somebody who's not as much of an avid parks follower, and they were like Avatar, like the movie,
people,
like the blue people. And I'm like, yeah, like.
Yeah, but if you look back at what was going on,
it was
like Iron Man had come out and like the MCU was just being set up.
Yeah,
it wasn't the success that it is right now. Disney didn't own Star Wars. They needed something to compete with Harry Potter World. James Cameron was saying that we're releasing Avatar 2 and 3 in 5 years. So. And then there were some delays in that, and then there were some delays in the development of Pandora.
Yeah.
So if all those delays didn't occur, and the movies actually came out, and then the land opened, and then another movie came out that next year, I feel like Pandora would be, basically Star Wars land level of excitement.
I agree. And I think that's the only downside to this one is just the timing of it. Seems odd given
given the current circumstances.
Given 8 years almost of time, passage here, it's like, oh, okay, and it's still only a single movie, more movies to come.
Now.
But
for now, 2 and 3 are,
and then given I think a lot of the excitement got sucked, a lot of the air got sucked out of the room when Star Wars Land was announced. So the people that were probably lining up for Avatar were like, well, okay, but Star Wars land. I mean,
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Well, and the piece that the goal is, but I think, it's catch-22. The worry is they didn't have as much to go off of for Avatar.
True.
And how well they seem to hit out of the park.
That's absolutely a good point.
Whereas for Star Wars, they have, even already what is canon, and then
films.
Exclude, two animation series with now a third one
Forces
coming.
of Destiny that's on YouTube right
Books,
now. That does
Yeah.
comics.
The Christmas special.
That's not canon. I don't think it is. I don't think it's
All-
canon.
On top of then all the stuff that's Legends that they're pulling from, obviously, and continuing to think about, right? That it's this such a wide array of stuff that they could take.
Yeah.
And then even the fact that they decided there's enough that we can do something still new.
Yes.
And still get people excited about.
Yeah, definitely.
So you're liking Pandora because it's kind of a precursor to Star
I think
Wars.
so, and I also do think it's a good fit in Animal Kingdom because I don't think you could have you can't put Marvel in Animal Kingdom.
No,
you can't put
Marvel. You can't
Star
put Star
Wars
over there.
And Animal Kingdom needed another e-ticket, and if not two, which it got.
Yes.
And really, you even think about the whole piece of what that movie stood for and the backgrounds of environmentalism and stuff like that, which then fits with the park's vision of talking about things like sustainability and things like that.
Yeah, it is a perfect fit in Animal Kingdom, especially when you look at like original plans for Animal Kingdom to include Beastly Kingdom.
Yeah.
I mean, it just works.
It does.
It is. I can't think of any other place where it could have been built or even should have been built.
The only other place I could have thought it would be Hollywood Studios, just because it was a movie, and just play up the fact that it was a movie.
Yeah, but then you get like kind of that cheesy Hollywood feel that I feel whenever you walk in Hollywood Studios.
I agree, and I think that would.
It's not completely immersive.
Yeah.
There's,
but I think on the other aspect, it's the only thing that would have fit in Animal Kingdom that I can think of as a large property like that.
Yeah,
short of a Bambi world. I don't, like.
Bambi Land.
Disney nature world, I mean, like
you can hunt bucks,
kill Bambi's daddy, watch him run away and cry, kill his mama.
Bambi Land,
mama.
Disney will be adding a Bambi dark ride.
Bambi
and
hunting
it starts dark by you shooting his dad.
Is a Buzz Lightyear clone coming to
Animal Kingdom deer hunting? It's Midway Mania, but deer hunting.
Not as friendly family this week.
Still family friendly.
Mama said if you don't have anything nice to say, good hit, cowboy.
A+.
Million points for killing Thumper.
You did it.
It's rabbit stew tonight.
Big buck hunter. I got that. Don't worry.
Oh, man. So you liked Guardians of the Galaxy because it's a precursor to it's a completion of the land or the start to the completion of a land.
Yeah, and I mean, and let's be clear. Also, I'm hoping that I really like it. I haven't been there to experience it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, will in October. So I mean, I can't say that it was my favorite story because I got to experience it.
Yeah.
Yet, but. I'd say it's my favorite because, especially given what my expectations were and initial reaction, it seems to have blown it out of the water.
Yes, yeah. And all the reviews, yeah.
And you're along the same lines with Pandora of it's a completion of the park. It makes it a full day park, and it's a little bit of a precursor to like what kind of alien worlds we can experience.
Yeah, kind of like Wade's is a good, precursor to Marvel coming to the parks. This is a good precursor of alien worlds being built out of imagination.
Well, my favorite story of the year was the announcement and opening of Volcano Bay.
So really we're just rehashing our debate.
Kind of, yeah.
3 big openings. Which one has the most to prove? Yeah.
Pretty much. And I just think it's absolutely stunning. Like, we covered it in like episode 2 or 3.
Yeah, I remember. That's crazy. I remember talking about the announcement of.
We were sitting over there when we were talking about it.
Were we still?
I think it might have been 3. I think it might have been in episode 3 because I'm pretty sure I was
here
when it broke, and that was episode 3.
Okay. And we moved over here episode 2.
No, because we were over there 2 episodes.
Were we?
I think you guys said when I came for
Were.
episode 3, this was the first time over here.
And I had painted the wall with the half a can of paint that I had, and that's why it doesn't go all the way up or down. Which is only obvious when we have a guest, because otherwise I can keep the camera close enough to hide it.
Yeah. But I really liked Volcano Bay just because it's so astounding how quickly it was built. It might have been a little rushed. In fact, from pretty much everybody that has gone the first week, they're like, this does not feel complete at all. There was even dirt that fell into one of the lazy rivers the night before opening, and it was closed that day because it couldn't filter out
Fast enough, wow.
Yeah. However, now people are saying that it feels like a complete park. It is pretty much an all-day thing, kind of, until it won't be until they get Krakatau's lighting figured out, and you figured they'd do that before the park opened, but that's the Universal timeline right there.
Yeah.
And I do think it's just such a good example of the Universal timeline. Like people were saying, it's a very immersive, very relaxed water theme park, and I do think it is proving now that it feels more complete, that it is
a third gate,
and a viable third gate as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it gives Disney parks a run for its money. Disney water parks a run for their money.
Much, but
Yeah, that's true. Not a whole lot.
Yeah.
A couple more slides. That's about it.
Yeah, I think this one was. I agree with your choice, because I think this was such a groundbreaking, big. I mean, we're talking an entire park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy was probably about the similar timeline, but we're talking a single attraction.
Well, Guardians of the Galaxy, Tower of Terror was only closed for a couple months.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm just saying, in general, we're talking about an entire park being announced and built and everything under a year.
At a really high level of detail.
Yeah.
Ton of forethought with Tapu Tapu, and an excellent execution of Tapu Tapu.
Yeah.
I have not heard really one bad thing about it,
Other
than
than
people
the long waits,
adjusting
but yeah.
to the queue-less system.
Yeah.
And it is the first park to do fully queue-less system everywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is groundbreaking in and of itself. And that's starting to bleed over into the rest of the Universal Orlando Resort.
I think the piece of it that's important too is, regardless of the execution at the beginning, is that it's going to push Disney to improve their water theme parks.
Yes.
Try to especially push them maybe to have some type of nighttime more offerings.
Yeah.
Especially if they can't get the lighting figured out.
Well, didn't they? What was the
Because we even saw
Falls?
Misadventure Falls, which is
Yeah.
the first slide being added to a water park at Disney in like 8 years or something like that, 7 or 8 years. So
All of a sudden, it was like, hey, we got to do this. You know?
Yeah,
So,
and-
which
and it kind of came out of nowhere too, because it was announced and then built within a year, and that is pretty much directly attributed to Volcano Bay.
absolutely.
And even like Harry Potter, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, how that pushed Disney to do Pandora essentially.
Which then probably pushed them to do Star. I mean,
Yeah,
it
to do
is.
Star
It's a
Wars.
snowball effect, and
I feel like Volcano Bay is even pushing Disney a little more, because there are people that are. I mean, Volcano Bay has been at capacity 80% of the time this summer.
Yeah.
And that's just the way that it is. So I'm willing to bet that Volcano Bay is drawing a lot more people from Disney than they were expecting initially. And that's why we're seeing kind of... Because Star Wars Land is opening in 2 years now.
Yeah.
Toy Story Land's opening in 1 year.
Yeah.
Epcot is already rolling out new stuff in a month. So it's probably pushing the timelines a little forward with Disney, which little competition never really hurt.
Yeah.
The only piece I don't know about that, though, is that when I've been reading, the debates now as it's improved, do I do Universal, do I do Disney, do I do the theme water parks or not, that, Universal just basically upped their prices and included it.
Yeah.
And so that those numbers are tough to tell, since it's basically already an added-on theme park day.
Yeah.
Versus Disney, it can be a completely other option.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when I'm planning a trip for next year, and we're looking at doing staying on Disney property and mainly going to Disney, but we were gonna do just 2 days at Universal until Volcano Bay opened up, and now we're doing 3.
Yeah.
So we're not even looking at going to the Disney water parks. It's just main theme parks and then Universal, including Volcano Bay. So it's drawing me away from Disney for 3 days now, as opposed to just the 2.
Yeah.
So, well, those are. You guys have anything else to add?
No, I mean, we talked about so much this year that it was kind of whoa, but
There's a lot.
There's a lot of news. Sit back and go, what have we? And even some of the great debates we've had, and some of the great, just general discussions we've had, and all that. So
yeah. I don't know. Do you have anything else you want to add
to that topic?
To this topic. Well, it was a fun year.
It was.
It was not bad.
Thank you for listening to the Unmistakably Magic Podcast. This was episode 52. This was our year.
1 year.
If you listen to one episode a week, it would take you until July of 2018 to finish.
Yep, it would.
You could probably skip one, though.
Probably 2 as well.
2, but we started to figure some things out at 3.
Starting to. Gets a little better at 4.
But we do want to thank Wade. Thanks for always being a supporter of the show.
Yeah,
thanks for being our constant guest.
Thanks for having me back as a guest after. If you go watch episode 3, I was pretty terrible that day, too.
It's all good. We
I should have probably not been invited back.
We've obviously learned from our own
it's just one big learning experience. Thanks for coming back on, and you're always welcome back on the Unmistakably Magic Podcast.
Check out our social media at Unmistakably Mag on Twitter, Unmistakably Magic on Instagram, Facebook.com/Unmistakably Magic.
If you like the show and want to see us do this for another year, head over to unmistakablymagic.spreadshirt.com, buy a t-shirt, buy a tank top. I think I'm going to come up with some new designs for our 1 year.
All right.
I know I said that a lot. Never happened. But it's a new year.
Okay. We'll hold you to that.
Some changes are
coming. We'll see what happened in 2018 with that.
It's going to be the same thing.
Email us, unmistakablymagic@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Feedback or questions, comments, concerns, shout-outs.
Anything, really.
You want to wish us a happy birthday, anniversary?
Happy birthday, Unmistakably Magic.
Head on over to our YouTube. Just search Unmistakably Magic on YouTube.com and look for our page, because all of our old episodes are up there now, and we're going to start putting the exclusive after show as a separate show, I think.
Yeah, we will. This will be the first week.
So
this week. So if you're listening to us on iTunes, where you should leave us a review and subscribe to us on iTunes.
Yep. Head on over to YouTube. Check our exclusive after show, and then you can find all the old episodes on there.
On YouTube as well.
Thank you to our friend Dylan over at Blast Off Branding for making our awesome logo. And don't forget to check out our friends at the Unmistakably Star Wars Podcast.
We just had Tyler on last week.
Yep.
He was here.
He was here in town. Wasn't even a Star Wars episode, but he was here. So we made him sit down and talk to us.
Yeah. He wanted to. It's not like it was against his will.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, do you guys have any announcements or shout-outs or anything?
No.
Nobody you want to say hi to, Wade?
Hi, Lissa. Hi, wife. Hi, Mason. Hi, everybody listening.
Do you make Mason listen?
Yeah, we usually will listen to it in the car when we're going somewhere once it comes out.
Okay.
Usually when we do Sunday errands, it comes out Sunday morning.
Saturday night.
Yeah.
Sunday morning.
It doesn't, yeah, iTunes is weird like that sometimes. It doesn't quite hit right away.
I don't see it till Sunday morning.
Yeah.
I'm not up.
If I'm sitting there refreshing my feed after I upload it, it shows up, but that's just me.
Well, that just about does it.
All right. Have a magical week.
See you real soon.